Oh, right. So we had last concluded with you guys broadcasting your make. What was this planet?
Make
Laurel's
Laurel's
World.
world great again.
Yeah, with your Make Laurel's World Great Again broadcast. Despite your best efforts, your lies were not quite successful in being deceptive. Not completely, anyways, but the resolve with which you said them.
Just enough reasonable doubt.
Combined with the overwhelming ignorance both of the populace and of your opponents.
Winning by ignorance, I have no problem with.
It's still a win, right?
But so, you had set the stage for whatever it was that you were intending to do next.
What a good implied question.
But you have the, what do you call it, the planetary governor, locked away, never having actually made a live broadcast, because you are apparently capable of convincing him of anything at this point.
And we need to keep him alive because of that.
He is convenient that way.
So then, what are our final remaining sources of Tau to deal with?
Well, you do have Tau, theoretically, in the remains of that giant Tau ship that had crashed.
The one that we're planning to strip like crazy and possibly lift as part of our payment for this operation? Yeah.
Am I the only one who missed part of that?
Possibly. It's hard to know what you missed or what someone else missed.
I heard operation. That's about it.
I said yes, the ship that we intend to loot like crazy and possibly lift as part of our payment for this operation.
Ah, yes, of course.
I think Rogue Trader kind of particularly encourages the tendency of the players to basically strip mine anything and everything they can.
The colony rules actually don't have rules for not strip mining.
Magical.
So the question is, what intel can we get about the remaining forces, and so we can set up a proper hello party.
I mean, are we effectively in control of all of the human forces? Yes. Are we leadership now for everyone but the Tau?
Well, I assume that they weren't going to actually help us fight. They just won't get in our way.
That's fine.
And you are not exactly sure what you are in charge of at this point, other than the air. You definitely seem to be in charge of that. Although I think your commander of all things air is either going to or coming from a train station.
Like, so how much stuff on the ground can we get rid of from the air at this point, I think is our first step.
I mean, my understanding of history leads me to believe that the answer to that question is anything we want to.
That would be a hilarious way for this to end. You guys set up to do an orbital bombardment, completely botch the pilot check, and crash into the planet and die, and that's how this adventure ends. Right after you defeated all of the major battles.
Well, at least we could be an example in the history books that the most important enemy to overcome is yourself.
But at the very least, you guys now have air superiority. The Tau don't really have the means to quickly transport their men around. They could theoretically do ground convoys from the Tau capital, but they are no longer capable of drop shipping. While they may or may not have some left, they definitely don't have the air force necessary to resist your air force to escort them. There we go, my horrible map. Oh, horrible map. I've missed you. But so, what do you guys believe is your next plan of attack? Metaphorically speaking, that does not necessarily need to be an actual attack. Unless it is.
Odor says we should go and punch Big Tao ship.
I mean, I would not be against an exploratory foray into it. But honestly, I was thinking of sealing up the exits and filling it with servitors.
It's been a while since we had a murder servitor party.
But if you want to go and clear it personally.
Well, I can go with the servitors. He can create the exit and then block it.
And I happen to be doing some math behind the scenes for things that you need not be concerned about.
Of course. Alright, so as I see it, we basically have two primary goals at the moment. We're and I'm going to turn down the volume on things that are annoying. No, wherein we have to finish clearing the Tau off the planet, and we need to reestablish human authority. Because at the moment, we're kind of it, and that's not a stable long-term situation. And the reason this world was willing to leave the Imperium was shit sucked. And if we leave with shit sucking, we're not actually fixing anything.
Well, did you have any plan on how to establish or re-establish human rule of the planet? Notably, as far as the ship is concerned, while it certainly forms a portion of the city has since sprawled out from it.
Well, let's ask the member most gung-ho for this mission. Hodor, if you were given the task of scouring the Tau out of there, how would you want to go about it?
Do we not need to go beyond much more? Just kill them all? Also, Mike, I don't think your mic's working. I wish I can't hear you. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
I think Mike's trying to get input for a plan of assault.
I think he's got his stereo as his mic. So it's playing like my voice back to me when you talk.
Yeah, not getting any mic voice, but getting our own voices back at us.
Indeed. Definitely, yeah, it's the wrong mic input. Oh.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes.
Alright, now it's working.
You're
You're
very,
real quiet.
very quiet.
Know why I'm so quiet. That makes.
That's better.
You just got a lot louder.
Okay. My input volume's like max. I don't know what's. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll use another fate point, maybe? No, I don't know. I don't know if I want to. Does anybody else have Scholastic Lore, Tactic Imperialis, or Common Lore?
Why are you making all these lore checks anyway?
I'm just gonna get Eric to tell me what the best course of action is.
Well, so far with those rolls, you have successfully deduced that the best course of action is punched in.
Probably is, though. I mean, what else can we do?
Hodor, Odor thinks we should go to the front door and punch through it and then kill any Tau we see.
Oh,
You came up
certainly
with that
direct.
all yourself?
You were not helping.
Oh, I wouldn't dare get in the way of that.
Well, if the Tau force is strongest at the Tau capital, then why don't we just go everywhere else? Just
Okay,
to fuck
Dada,
them up.
picture.
You basically have gone everywhere else and fucked them up.
What, is that the only place left?
There is one of a kind alcohols in this ship hold, but it is heavily guarded. How would you get in there to get the drinks?
Oh, her amused expression just went to shit at that particular mention. You really don't want to have this conversation right now.
Odor is just looking for your input.
You really don't want to have this conversation right now. I just looked at the captain and smiled sweetly.
Odor is just brainstorming. Does anybody else have a good idea? Maybe we could work together.
She'll just talk directly to the captain at this point. Well, if we can open the door and then lock it behind, can we get a bunch of hallucinogenic grenades and toxins and whatnot spewed through? Plus murder servitors, of course.
Yes, get one of our tech priests to.
I mean, you can do that, but they will have vac-sealed armors.
All ships have filtration system. You get, instead of using hallucinogen grenade, we put the hallucinogen straight into their air.
You're at 200% for me. I can barely hear you.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like you got really loud for just a minute there, and then you got real quiet again.
Do you have multiple sound devices plugged in? It could be picking up from a different one.
Probably.
Is that better?
That's actually worse.
So yeah, I think the mic you think it is not the mic you think it is.
This is bullshit. I spent like $80 on my.
You're bullshit.
So what we obviously do is we blast the door open, attach a bunch of knives to a bunch of servo skulls, let them fly in there, get some intel while they stab people.
Oh my.
Server skull knife party.
Well, at that point, we might as well just make what is it, square nets out of monofilament and have 4 of them fly in formation with it.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, and at the same time, we get a sort of a layout of the ship on the inside.
You'd have to ask the Tau for monofilament stuff. That's most of their weapons. Sorry, not the Tau, Eldar.
Eldar are the big monofilament guys.
Yep.
More
Did
to the
we pick
point.
any of that up?
What?
I asked if we picked any of that up. We looted Eldar.
You do not have any large abundance of monofilament stuff. Though I should note, there is not one distinctive entrance to the Tau vessel, as you guys had at least tried to scope that out before. There are multiple large entrances due to the crash, one of which has been turned into the auditorium at which Thaddeus and Romeo were caught.
They'll never expect the same place twice.
But they expected it the first time.
That's the whole point.
That's what'll be really surprising.
And if we get caught, we just do it again.
You just keep
It'll
going
be-
back and attacking the exact same place every time.
Yeah?
Each time more surprising than the last.
Exactly. I mean, if so, there's some blast doors that we need to get through. Is that the problem?
No, it's the exact opposite. Sealing up the ship would be almost impossible.
I guess how big are these openings?
Large enough for massive crowds of people to filter through, and smaller ones. The entrances are large and small.
Well, what we do
So
is
you're
we plug
saying-
up the small ones.
I mean, we could drive the Lehman Russes in there.
That's true. Send murder servitors in through all the smaller ones and then drive the tanks to the bigger ones.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Significantly.
Yes.
All right, I had to go into like the fucking settings and yeah, whatever.
Well, whatever you did, it appears to be working.
Good.
Okay, so at this point, I'm pretty sure the Inquisition would be happiest if we just scoured them away. We have a very rough plan to do so.
I see what you did there.
Okay, I'm here.
Yay!
Yay, welcome to the conversation. We're discussing what to do about the Tau.
More specifically, how to attack the main ship and get rid of them.
Orbital bombardment?
Why didn't you blow up the ship?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think because Captain wants to loot the
a
crap
waste.
out of it.
Yeah, seems a bit of a waste. All the shit that's in there.
Crisis suits, Romeo.
If they're gonna be newer, they're gonna be in the ship.
That's true. Maybe they have a hazard somewhere in there. Hazard suit's the best suit.
Could be.
We're just saying.
But we'll never know if we wreck it from orbit.
We're
And
just saying one of our
also
main problems is
notably-
that there's openings everywhere from the actual crash, some big, some small.
And it is not just a ship. It is a ship that happens to be part of a city.
That's fair.
Man, the portmanteau for that is fantastic.
So, take over the city first, then work our way from there. I can always try and go inside on my own, see what's up.
You could.
They haven't actually ever seen me, I don't think. Don't know if they know I exist.
Well, you were captured briefly.
Oh yeah, apart from that bit.
Yeah, they've never seen you apart from the one time where they saw you more than anyone else.
And then
And
they all
we
died.
killed everybody there.
That is true. You did murder everyone.
Well, some of them are captives, but
Okay, yes, except for the ones you took prisoner. And the one possessed guy who got away. And then you murdered him. And then you murdered the things that he turned into, and then you murdered the things those turned into.
Yeah. Good days.
It's a Russian doll of murder.
Matryoshka murder.
I like it. Is that
So
how
we
it's
don't
pronounced?
have
Or
to
is
do
it
the-
Matryoshka?
The bloodthirster Russian doll of death. Don't laugh.
Why?
Because it makes me feel like you're gonna do that at some point.
Well, I might at some point. You never know. It's humorous. It entertains me.
It is funny. But that's a TPK right there.
Possibly.
What
Isn't it
is-
just funnier when we
we-
bullshit our way through?
Did
Kingdom Hearts
honestly,
20?
it's so hard to TPK people. Like we fought a. What did stat block did he use for Gobstompa in the other campaign, Eric?
Well, I mean, that
The-
wasn't a group. That
the
we
exact-
had all of us plus like 4 other guys, and we it was like 1v20.
But
So is the raid.
he actually
Yeah.
used the stats for the thing that me and Josh are talking about, although he gimped it a little.
Yeah, well, the
Basically,
damage.
the bloodthirster Russian doll thing is where you have a bloodthirster who spawns wielding a demon weapon. You kill the bloodthirster, the demon weapon breaks. It contains another bloodthirster with a demon weapon, and just on and on and on, all the way down for infinity.
Madness.
Does that happen?
Possibly. It's possible. Where you could just have an infinite number of bloodthirsters with demon weapon axes that have bloodthirsters bound into them, who themselves have demon weapons with bloodthirsters bound into them.
They literally
Can that
set.
Can that be gotten around by just warp instability, sending it back into the warp?
Possibly.
The Imperium just sets up like a full Imperial, like, just fortified world around this one bloodthirster, just to keep killing it as it respawns.
It's a way to grind XP.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure there's like a bunch of members in the Imperium that would be super happy to just murder a demon all day, every day.
Well, that doesn't seem very practical though.
Since when does the Imperium seem the utmost of practicality?
Yeah, but in different ways. They trying to get results, but in just dumb ways.
But fortunately, you're dealing with Tau, and Tau do not have the benefit of demons or infinite demon loops.
I'm not sure you'd really consider that a benefit, but okay.
Well, it's a benefit to you. But there are no Tau who are going to produce infinite demon loops.
As much as our propaganda says otherwise.
Well, I mean, yeah, if a demon got free and was just left to run around, wouldn't it eventually start summoning more demons?
Possibly. Depends on the demon. Fortunately, none of you know that much about demons, aside from the things that you have found out while fighting demons.
Yeah, I hope we can stay away
but
from
you've got
demons.
propaganda.
So yeah, on top of the fact that you're lying to people about what causes demons, you're not 100% sure what causes demons. I mean, you've got some ideas. You have some good theories.
Well, it's not causing demons, it's more demon summoning, right? I mean, they're all just in the warp, and then they just get summoned here.
Yeah. That is a delineation that most Imperial citizens would not be able to make.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I suppose we probably wouldn't even know that anyway. Or as well.
Well, certainly Deno would know there's demons in the warp.
Yeah, but...
Fucking squirrels.
Yes.
Okay, so we have big and small openings in the ship. Do we have any idea how many, just from, like, visuals around the outside?
Well, I mean, you know where some of the main ones are. There's a big main gate. There's the auditorium that you'd already seen, which is some kind of retrofitted interior chamber.
I kind of like the murder servitor thing. We just open up the doors, send a bunch of murder servitors in, wait about a week, and then collect them.
Why don't you do it ourselves? It seems a bit lazy.
We are Imperial citizens. We can be fucking lazy with murder servitors if we want to. That's
I
our
like to get
emperor
hands-on
given
with my
right.
work. For sure, but I like to get hands-on with my work.
You can go too. Nobody's stopping you.
That's fair
I was
enough.
going to say,
Okay.
by hands-on, it's like, standing 100 yards away, looking through a scope.
Does have a point.
I mean, by all means, do what you love. Don't let me stop you.
I'm saying there's no reason this can't be a murder servitor including plan.
If it was to be, then we'd have to evacuate like all of the citizens. So the murder servers just don't really know who's who.
That is very true. That's why I proposed sealing the ship up first.
All right.
But the
Apparently,
talent
murder servitors are like xenomorphs. Even if you seal something up, they'll find a way through.
probably.
But
Usually
the question
you
is,
have
has anyone on this planet ever seen a murder servitor?
Nah, okay. It's Archaeotech, so probably not.
Then it's
Yes,
perfectly
they-
fine. We
they-
can blame it on the Tau if anyone gets hurt.
They still manufacture murder servitors. I'm using the lathe pattern murder servitor as the stats for your guys' when I need it.
All right.
Lathe pad.
Lathe pattern.
All right. I know there's servitors that murder, but I just didn't know that they were murder servitors.
Yeah, murder
Like everywhere.
servitors. Murder servitors are generally intended for exactly what you have them for ship-to-ship combat.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, though, if after our broadcast some people still want to say that close to the Tau, it's really their own fault at this point.
We can convince them in person if we need to.
I mean, at this point, what I'm thinking is we come up with the plan that we're going to roll with on the town, and then we broadcast basically an invitation for the Tau to surrender completely and The suggestion to all the Imperium citizens in that city that they maybe evacuate for their own well-being, as we cannot ensure their safety in proximity to the Xenos.
To be fair, if we try to have them surrender after our whole propaganda thing, it might be confusing.
We also have the option of just trying to, like, draw them out.
That's true.
What would we draw them out with?
Hodor. Just punching a village, just punching the thatched roof cottages like Trogdor. Burninating the countryside. Burninating the peasants.
Those are our peasants now, though.
But is he a dragon man?
Maybe he's just a dragon. Either way, he's Trogdor.
That is a fact.
I mean, he is a mutant. Unfortunately, he's not that kind of mutant.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Hey, Eric,
Is
would you be amenable to porting legacy weapons into the system?
I'm pretty sure those are meant to be a chaos thing.
Okay.
Unless you are about to reveal a grand truth about Hodor that none of us knew before.
I'm actually a bloodletter.
Explains a lot.
Just kidding.
I always wondered why you had giant horns that nobody talked about.
Question, can we set up like one of those like invisible dog fences around the ship for the murder servitors so they stay inside the ship where they're murdering?
Yes.
See, that'll keep a lot of extra people from dying.
sorry, what are we doing to keep people from dying here?
Something like that.
Set up one of those invisible dog fences for the murder servitors to make sure that they stay inside the ship at all times and don't go after anyone outside.
You could probably give them a kill zone.
That's a good idea.
Like, you may murder anybody in here.
Just make sure that we have the inside and the outside set right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I was also looking through here for a size reference thing. The Tau ship is roughly half the size of the Zennith.
Okay, so murder servitors, Hodor, Thaddeus can go in there. If Thaddeus and Hodor can focus on bringing, I don't know, maybe a tech priest or something like that to find what might be a filtration system and punch it, then we can send in all of the grenades of toxins.
Okay.
I don't know how
I mean,
effective
are
it'd
we-
be.
Are we assuming they have just the one filtration system?
Or we can send it through that system.
You guys I mean, you guys have a shitload of grenades, don't get me wrong. But you are talking
But we
about
don't have a shipload of grenades, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you're talking about saturating an area measured in kilometers.
If only we'd brought some poison from the home world, we could get that in kilometer covering amounts.
Oh yeah, we should inquire about some of that poison.
I thought we did, and that was the point.
I want some poison.
Such an above-board industry. Controlling the poison and toxin manufacturing centers.
And now we're getting medicine.
Someone's got to...
We're going to poison people and then sell them the medicine to cure themselves.
It's a really good scheme.
Genius.
That is, actually.
But yeah, see, that's how we make it a little bit better for this world.
It's basically
too.
Wasn't that part of the decline of humanity in Oryx and Crake?
It's also the storyline for V for Vendetta.
It's a storyline of a lot of things, to be honest.
Yeah.
But even without poisoning everybody on the planet, using the medicine and being able to like have extra venues with which to sell it will give more profit towards the planet too. So they will do better.
Only positive sides.
And they don't have as many demons.
We're such benefactors.
Mm-hmm.
So is there murder to be done?
I mean, it seems likely that we're going to go with the invisible fence, and if you'd like to go supervise that, you're certainly welcome to.
Yes.
I'm actually going to be a little bit concerned about Glidewell right now for a bit.
He isn't here. You should enjoy the murder while you can.
He isn't here now. But certainly certain
Probably.
interested parties, yeah, probably.
The odds that he is here are minimal.
In this case, I'd actually like to get a numeric estimate for minimal.
Tops. 57% chance. Tops.
Curious as to how much profit factor Gardor has, like, compared to ours.
What a good-looking question.
A good-looking one.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I was looking back through some of my sheets, realizing I forgot to finish some sheets, but that shouldn't be relevant this session. Unless you
Whose
make
sheets
it.
are they who are relevant this session?
What?
I said, which sheets are these that are relevant this session?
Well, they're not relevant this session, or shouldn't be. Who knows? We'll play it by ear.
Okay, so is there anyone who's going to make a solid argument in favor of not basically killing all of them?
I'm surprised we went with that venture in the first place, but yeah, it's all good.
One more time?
I'm surprised you went with that venture in the first place of mass murder Tau, but
Well-
it's all good.
It was my intention to have the plan to do so in place and then offer them the opportunity to surrender, but then it does make an interesting point that it would look problematic politically if we asked them to surrender at this point. I mean, I'm sure we could make a go of it. Well, our broadcast would suggest that they surrender to stop us from having to spend more lives of valiant Imperial service members against their wicked ways. And that maybe they have a shred of honor left that will allow them to take, the peaceable way out. But, I don't know if it's really worth pushing another broadcast. And as I
The
said, it
Tau have
does.
been very non-negotiable at this point. They've always been quite stubborn.
And we did accuse them all of bringing demons, so...
That is true, that happened. They may not fully understand that accusation because they don't know what demons are.
I guess even the word would be like, what the fuck are these guys saying? A demon? What?
And I also put a handy-dandy size reference in chat.
It is both handy and dandy at the same time.
Yes.
Is it a notebook?
I'm glad somebody made that reference.
Our ships are really small.
Actually, you guys are... The Zennith is a Goliath class transport right there under the Universe class.
Oh, is it? I thought it was. Oh yeah, sorry. I was thinking of the your ship.
Yeah, the Lotus. No, the Lotus is tiny.
Yeah, Goliath is actually fairly big. Big as a battlecruiser.
Yeah, it is the second biggest transport.
Every time I look at those images, makes me want to play Battlefleet.
Yeah, the Tau ship on the planet would be something more akin to the Karak or Jericho class transports, right there underneath the Goliath, for size comparison.
Well, the Inquisition should be happy with us. We sold the Imperial line and we scoured the planet of Xenos, or will have, because that's apparently what we're going to do.
Oh, right. Wonderful plans all around.
Yay, genocide.
I know, right?
I believe we established in our earliest sessions, genocide is always an option that is on the table.
Yeah. Well known.
No matter what problems your party happens to be facing, genocide is always a potential option.
The only downside of it is that it gives bastard Inquisitor the way he wanted. That's the only downside. Like, they fucked with us to get this option.
I
I hate him
mean,
so much. I mean, he's smug as fuck.
he is super smug and he's opposed to our goals.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you're not wrong. I really did bend over backwards to try and work with these guys, both for their sake and for ours, because it really would have been nice to have Tau associates on our side. But yeah, I bent over backwards and they kicked me in the back of the head every time. So
I can't really think of any decent, like, I hate Eldar, Orcs who don't really want to be allies with, Necrons. I mean, we've met one cool one, but like overall, would you really want to ally yourself with them? Who else is
Do
there?
we
I
think?
mean, the thing,
Do we think
the
that-
problem with.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Dennis.
I was just saying, do we think that we would even need the Tau for the particular aspects of the technology that's what you really want? Because do we think that our
just
friend
reverse
Kyron
engineer
might
it.
be able to might be interested in taking a look at it, maybe reverse engineering something, because
Well,
we
it can
get a
take us
chance
to
to
ourselves.
tinker. That too. But then,
No, as long as
then we
just-
wouldn't have the evidence directly on our ship for next time.
I think just having the tech itself isn't instantly heresy.
It's arguable.
If anyone should have it, we should.
Well, first you have to prove that it is in fact alien tech, and that's something that's hard to do because there's a lot of aliens.
Well, I mean, okay, you go through the checklist. Does it have a skull on it? No, probably xenotech.
Yeah, but Necron stuff has skulls on it, so
They
Is
have
it
skulls,
gold?
but they don't have
Does it
skulls on
have
shit.
eagles?
Necron tech surprisingly does not have skulls on it. They don't really decorate their stuff.
Yeah,
what?
yeah, it's just a simple like doors.
They
like, it's
are
just a
the
green
skulls.
with a- Yeah, they are the metal skulls themselves.
Is there a notification on it somewhere that it would have been better if it had been built at the height of the Imperium?
But so, since we have settled on genocide,
Yes, now that we're there.
an option with a great many advantages, I must say. Do you have an overall strategy for this genocide? You've been throwing some ideas around. But you are in something of a mixture of siege and urban warfare.
Well, here's an option then. We could announce that we could do that, you know, broadcast to the loyal citizens of the Imperium that they should leave the area around that ship, and then we can just burn off the city.
But then we have the thing with the orbital bombardment that might be a little bit super bad if it goes wrong. You know, like the whole orc ship and decimating things.
Oh, that fills me with happy to think about.
To be fair, if anything, how many of the smaller ships do we have that can, like, keep air superiority as murder servitors get people out of the ship?
You do have quite a few, although I believe Romeo has brought up a point on that front before.
Hmm.
Oh, I was hoping Romeo would take that cue.
Sorry, I'm doing homework and stuff. What's the beat I missed?
You had brought up a point in the past about bringing the interceptors to the Township City.
Oh yeah, they might still have turrets, which is a problem.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, we beat all the ground forces before. We need to beat them again.
You guys, I don't know. It might be better to keep the turrets occupied with the interceptors, just because, like, even when
The
fighting,
turret's anti-air one.
when
They
I
wouldn't
was
be like
when I was
bonus.
fighting the turrets, like if my force field didn't go off and I missed my dodge, but if that was any of you guys, like, you would have just been paced.
Yeah, different kind of turrets. I'm saying that it's a starship. It has a turret rating, and a turret rating just sometimes hard counters bombers and fighters.
They probably got the other types of turrets there too.
But are they going to be able to be pointed to where you are? I don't know. Like, yeah, just this is a starship.
Just go at it.
That is kind of what the turret rating is representative of, the smaller guns. The bajillions of smaller guns.
But small as in, like, the size of guns that I was fighting on the tanks.
Did I hear a vote for learning by doing?
A vote for what?
Learning by doing?
It's my favorite.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we'll come out on top regardless. I can't really see a situation in which we're gonna get boned in.
I mean, you're the ground assault team, so.
Yeah, I mean we're good at our job, and so far the Tower Forces haven't been like they've been an issue, but I mean we've just we've got tanks and shit. Like even the crisis suits or whatever kind of fucking suit it wasn't that big a deal.
So we distract them thinking that we would have more air stuff to deal with, but at the same time we teleport down a bunch of murder servitors and tanks right into their ship, or like at the entrance.
You could probably teleport inside the ship.
I mean, here's what I was saying about drawing them out is like, we have complete air superiority right now. There's a bunch of other cities they need to like.
No, we've already. Eric said we have everything now.
Oh, we have everything but the main city.
Yep.
Oh, okay, my bad. I missed that.
Well, I brought the same point.
Yeah, it's mostly the old capital, the old Mechanicus research compound, and then a smattering of small villages and facilities. And they no longer have the capacity to send reinforcements anywhere to start strengthening locations. So certainly a large percentage of the Tau population on this planet is centered on the Tau capital. That is not 100% certainly, but it is the large percentage, which currently forms the economic and military center of the planet. So first step at least. What is yours, or what are you thinking?
I mean, Thaddeus and Hodor are leading this assault, right? There isn't anybody else who wanted to take point on that?
It's not.
All right, up to you guys. I would suggest that we run the broadcast for the loyal citizens of the Imperium to evac, and then you can just start going to town on the place.
Sure, yeah, I can understand that.
Do we give them time to fortify?
Yeah, that's the point. And yeah, you
I
might
mean,
want to start
they've known for a while that we're coming for them. I mean, it's not going to come as a big, huge surprise to them, except for the exact timing. So if you guys are not that concerned about, like, a half an hour's worth of time is enough time to haul your carcass away from the goddamn ship. And I don't know how much they could do in half an hour that they haven't already done.
Sure.
That's fair.
Other than prep anything that needs prepping, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind if you want to do that. That's just fine with me.
Jump in all their crisis suits and whatever suits.
That's a genuine line.
How many days?
What?
How many days since we rescued our buddies is this taking place after? We doing this right away, or waiting a day, or?
Well, I mean, certainly this discussion would basically be like same day or next day.
I just want to know how many I heal. HP.
Please don't eat into the mic.
Because if it's a day, I get an HP back.
Well, I can certainly say it is the next day.
Okay, so send out broadcast, wait 30 minutes, drop in tanks and murder servitors, and have fun.
I like a 30-minute, probably a bit longer than 30 minutes.
Right, in which case somebody's making that broadcast, which means that somebody needs to make a roll.
What we rolling for this broadcast?
Depends on the nature of your argument. Acting as authority, acting as a charismatic individual.
I can do a charisma roll.
Okay, make that charm check.
I can assist his charm check.
I'll assist.
So the three of you appear on camera, or, well, on voice, as booming voices.
Yes.
We at least help with the prepping.
So you're at least doing speech writing.
Yep.
All right, make that charm check then.
I think that'll do it.
Isn't that like even
yeah,
a couple
that will
more
do it.
because of the assists?
That's with the assists.
All of them?
How many assists are we talking here?
2, I believe.
Well, it makes it easier, then
Assists
doesn't it
and
also give you
smile.
more successes?
I did plus 20. That's what I did.
It's plus 20, and then you also get an extra 2 degrees of success for every person, or for every person assisting you. You also get a degree of success.
Okay then, so it's like 7?
Yes.
Hey,
If the captain
did
smiles
you
on you,
count the
8.
smile?
I tend to assume that it's assist or captain's bonus.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can't do both?
That is what I've been working with, yeah.
Like, at this point, we have so many degrees of success, I doubt it matters.
Like they don't even need to see a visual. They can just see his awesome hair in the theater of their minds doing this broadcast.
They
He has
can
such good
actually
hair. Let's
hear
do
the
this.
awesomeness of his hair.
Power of the emperor like hair compels them. And the fact that the dirty, dirty tower, no match for us heroes, as long as they get out.
Okay, so with an impassioned plea, you call for the human population to evacuate the Tau settlement.
Must go into battle against the demon harbingers. For them.
And as far as you can tell from the few communications that you pick up, oh, actually, that's a very good roll. Okay, so yes, the Master of Etherics comes to you all after you are congratulating each other for your magnificent speech to the people. My lord, my lords,
Yes.
we have been monitoring the situation. The evacuation of citizens from this Tau settlement. We are detecting weapons fire. A force outside the city is intercepting the refugees.
Oh, looks like we're starting this party early.
Good news.
Indeed.
Yeah, I know what that is. It's the fucking the other town.
Oh, well, I don't really feel like letting them continue with that. I think that we should intercede.
Well, we're supposed to be heroes. Might as well go do some heroing.
Ah, yes.
Deal with that, send murder servitors and the tanks in the meanwhile to the city.
All right, I shall lead the assault on the interceptors.
They really have to see the great hat.
It does make an impression.
So the propaganda team is going down to save the refugees, and the murderous people are going to murder Tao
Yes.
in their home.
Mhm.
Well, it's human homes. They are just borrowing until we evict them.
And by homes, we mean planet.
Yep.
Okay, simultaneously?
We do it one at a time, but I don't mind either way.
We don't want
Well,
the ones in the
the,
city coming to us.
Yeah, I was going to say the people who are intercepting the refugees should be dealt with as soon as possible.
But obviously send a bunch of servo skulls with the murder servitors so that other people can monitor what's going on with them and give us the update.
Alright, so Servo Skull escorts with the murder servitors. And Thaddeus and Hodor commanding the assault on the city. This is, of course, somewhat larger scale, and I have neither maps nor scenario thing prepped for it. Does not mean we cannot move forward, just noting that ahead of time.
No problem.
And where is the Zennith, by the way, relative to these proceedings?
I would rather not have it immediately overhead. What I am wondering is, can it provide over the horizon fire support?
Not very precisely.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, you can just try to randomly saturate the area with macro cannon fire. Absolutely. If that is your strategy, you can totally do that.
But of course, we already dismissed that as a strategy.
Yeah, precision shots. That does require you to take up a very precise position right above the target, like geosync orbit, pilot check, and everything, so you don't crash down into the planet's gravity. So the Zenith wouldn't be terribly broken up about that. It would love to go back to sleep.
As it belly flops on top of another ship. Yeah, let's not set up that opportunity.
That's like
Let us
ship
have
naming
the
ritual.
Zenith. Yeah, let's have the Zenith in a polar orbit a little ways. And keeping an eye out for new ships in the system.
Oh, right. So the Zenith is on the watch for any new arrivals. All right, and okay. So, anyways, what is the overall entrance strategy being used with assaulting the city? I want to establish that for the backdrop of what's happening with the refugee saving. Guys who were going in to murder Tao.
What you mean? How we're entering?
Yeah, what is your overall strategy with heading into the city first off? And what are you bringing with you? Is it just the two Lehman Russes and a horde of Berserkers?
No, I want to bring a bunch of mutants too.
Okay, should have figured you'd be bringing a bunch of mutants. That's your thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll for that.
I'm gonna bring myself.
Yeah, that also seems like your style.
Did you make that a? Do I have to pull up the book? Or did
No,
you
I
make
keep
that
forgetting. I'll
I'll
do
remind
that
you
right
next
now.
Mutations.
I think I know where the page is from memory. It's like 3-6 something. Oh, close enough. Stop lagging, please. 369.
Yep, got it.
All right.
I'm making the handout now.
They the mutants I bring, they all have palsy. Great.
That
Oh,
doesn't sound very helpful at all.
they're grotesques.
Let's see how much their agility gets reduced by
Wait, what chart are you looking at?
mutation table.
You got a 2 there, right? What book's mutation table are you looking at?
Sorry, that's malignancies.
369.
Okay, grotesque.
Yeah, they're just ugly motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're just gross. Okay.
But like Hodor. Oh, Sigmund.
I don't have that mutation.
Sick burn.
Just a hater.
I just think joking.
Ooh, them's punching weird.
With
Let the hate
Hodor,
flow through you.
aren't all words punching words for Hodor?
Yeah. I think I've decided I'm gonna get a second power fist.
Not all words are punching words. There's the words where he tells people, "I'll punch if you don't stop, attacking us. I'll punch you." Those aren't punching words.
Threat of punching words, though.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so, and how are you bringing that down? Is it all just teleport? That does limit your size a little bit. Or are you dropping in by other means as well?
I'd like to be there beforehand anyway.
I was gonna say the Lehman Russes have to be flown down.
Yeah, I fly down with the Lehman Russes.
Okay, so Hodor is once again banging at the gates.
It's my thing.
Okay, so Hodor's banging a gate. And Thaddeus is already there.
Probably, yeah.
Give me a stealth for Thaddeus.
Make me.
Okay. I am making you.
Can't deny that. I'll have to do it then.
If I knew your modifiers, I would have literally just rolled, and therefore made you do it.
Yeah. Thing is, I don't. There's the Science Skin and the Chameleon Line Cloak. I just don't know what both are. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking your role.
They hear me coming.
That's kind of the point, isn't it?
I say 30. I say 30.
Well, wouldn't that give a bonus on Thaddeus's stealth roll?
I was there before you.
Oh, okay. You didn't leave.
No, not at the same time. I like to set myself up somewhere nice.
Oh, right. And I assume you're trying to get up someplace high.
That's a fair point.
Give me an athletics as well.
I have a grapnel, but I can do that too. Although not very well. Yeah, is that a strength?
If you don't have the athletic skill,
Well, I mean, it's not on the list of skills.
It is a strength-based skill.
Is it an advanced one? I mean, like, I have climb, and I assume that's like folded into it.
Yeah, climb folded into that.
So strength?
Yes.
Only regrets. Oh,
I'll give you a bonus because of the grapnel.
okay, cool.
So you do pass that. If you had failed really, really badly, it would have been just a hilarious thing where you just very, very silently plummet to your death.
I have catfall. At least I would break like both legs, but maybe not die.
You very, very silently fall and shatter both of your legs.
You can just see his lip just kind of like pouting, but no sound comes out. It's a close-up.
Okay, so as the remainder of you do something, you are
Sit up, port down.
the doing things simultaneously does mean the teleporter is only sending one group of people somewhere.
Right. Well, interfering with the people interfering with the refugees seems to me to be the time-sensitive operation here.
Okay. So, Hodor with his mutants is coming upon the gates of the city amidst a hail of blue pulse fire and co-opted las and auto weapon fire. Thaddeus is perched high in a tower, overseeing the city as a whole. One of the former communication spires of the Tau ship, in fact.
Oh, cool.
Which seems to now be part of some larger construct tower that's been crudely bolted into it. And the murder servitors are to come, I presume. Meanwhile, the rest of you appear in a flash of warp light with whatever escorts you would be bringing.
Probably not murder servitors for that team, but definitely some hallucinogen servo skulls.
Oh, right. You find yourselves overlooking a horrible battlefield.
Horrible in the sense that there are terrible things occurring on it, or horrible in the sense that it's a terrible place to have a battle?
Both! Well, I mean, there's never a bad place to have a battle.
On a demon world full of demons, and you're drowning in lava.
That's a great place to go and kill demons.
Maybe.
That is glorious, is what that is. When you win that battle, that's a story.
When you when? How are you not?
When? But anyways, so yes, you see a number of the human citizens of the city. There are some buildings out here. It's not a harsh delineation between city and wilderness. It just kind of slowly peters out with the intersection of the city separated by more of a security wall. So in this slightly suburban sprawl here, you have people taking cover behind houses, inside of smaller houses, behind vehicles. Numerous corpses litter the grass and the few dirt roads. And there is pulse weapon fire coming. Slowly from pulse rifles, quickly from rotary burst weapons on battlesuits. And the defiant cries of Tau shout from within the grass and edges of the buildings, yelling at the refugees. The refugees are doing their best to shoot back with their few weapons that they have to hand. Some of them seem to have been from the local security forces, so they have their Tau-modified weaponry. Others are just using simple civilian weapons, auto pistols, auto rifles. Oh, right, and that is the scene you find yourselves ported into. Hodor's horde of horrific mutants at your back, supported by a pair of tanks, crushing their way through the tiny little city streets, making their way up to the defended gates. Pulse weapon fire on either side of you.
I learned my lesson. I'm going to stand behind the tanks this time.
Not going to stand in front of the tanks anymore, huh?
No, that was a bad idea.
Okay, now the mutation chart is in the handout section. We never have to look for it again.
Here's a question: are there any animals to deal with in this area?
I mean, some of the people have animals with them, but you're not noticing any wild animals at this moment.
Okay, just keeping an eye out for those big thingies. Because my assortment, because I can bring astropaths.
But so, what is this humanitarian rescue team's plan?
We had a plan before dropping into the war zone. Okay, this is horrible.
Well, you may not necessarily have had one before, but I'm assuming you have at least somewhat of a plan now. I mean, run away is a plan. It's not an advanced one, but it's a plan.
So do we know how far we are from the people who were interfering with the evacuation?
Yeah, how many of them can we actually see?
They're at varied distances. They seem to have set up a fair perimeter with the resources that they had at their disposal. They vary anywhere from 50 to a couple hundred meters away.
So can we see who they are? Or...
Oh, yeah. Do perception checks to see some details, but there's definitely stuff you can tell no matter what. But give me awareness tests, everybody who went down.
Yeah, there's a big shocker.
You and awareness tests.
I have really good perception.
No, I meant that more for the captain, but yes, for you as well.
Ah.
There's always that one person in every group who fails awareness tests all the time, or perception checks, or whatever you're calling them in that game.
It's okay. It's okay, Captain. You're still really pretty.
Oh wow, I do see shit. Okay.
Ah, yes. You see plenty of things.
I have a quick question.
Ask that question.
Is there a good reason why we can't just, like, do a bombing run on these guys?
That was my thought.
It is right outside the city.
Does that mean it's close enough to worry about turrets? Probably, because that's like
Reasonably
80
so,
range.
yes. That is a potential concern. At the very least, it is close enough that if that is a concern of yours, it is still a concern.
Could we get them outside of turret range, but still raining down, just to, intimidate them? Or shake them up so they're not firing?
Well, hold on one sec. You're essentially looking at a situation that shaped something like this. Whoops, that was on the wrong layer. Oh no, it wasn't. Okay, so you've got the city there. You've got Hodor with his tanks and his mutants. And Hodor hiding behind the tank.
Not hiding, just walking behind it.
And then you have some degree of distance here. And then there's you guys. And then there's a bunch of dead refugees. And then there are the Tau that are making them dead. So that is the shape of what you're looking at here. You guys are essentially between two firewalls. That is, walls made out of enemy fire. So while there may or may not be a means to draw them away, you are on the opposite side of the way.
Sorry, we came down between them and the refugees?
You came down behind the refugees.
Why did we do that?
You have Hodor's people at your back.
Yes, but it would have been best if we showed up on the far side of the people shooting the refugees so that we could have a couple of, they're already pointed, they've already got their guns pointed at us.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you would prefer to have come down in that direction, then you can do so. There is a very small number of you and like 100 of them, though.
At least like drop the tanks there, and the tanks could plow over them as they're heading towards the city.
I'll just send my mutants in. It's fine. I'll keep them busy while you guys go past them.
I think it would have been funny to grab tanks and just plow the tanks over the firing line towards the city.
Yeah, the problem with the tanks is they can't teleport in.
That's true. Could we have flown a tank down in one of the ships?
That's how the tanks got there.
That's what I mean, just like another one on the other side out of
Yeah,
blast
the
range.
problem is that leaves it takes about half an hour to fly the tanks down. So that'd be half an hour of them just shooting on unprotected civilians.
Then how do we get those down that are already there? Or is that just Hodor and that's it?
I had run under the assumption that you weren't just diving, like 5 people diving into a group of like 100 Tau. If you want that to be the situation, that can be the situation.
I'm not sure I want that to be the situation.
Yeah,
In
that's what I
fact,
mean. Like, if
basically
Hodor and them were coming down anyway, just get another tank to deal with this particular situation while the others are being used toward the city.
We have exactly 2 tanks.
Yeah, you only own
Oh.
2.
It'd be cool if we owned more. That'd be a cool thing for us to do.
So you
Yes, we
could
should
potentially
definitely
do
try to
that.
buy it.
Yeah, so you could potentially do that, but you'd have to pull one of the tanks away from the assault on the city.
We totally
How
need to buy
exactly were
a
the tanks
6-pack of
dropped?
tanks.
They were with ships, so they couldn't have gotten that close to the city, so they would have had to been driven basically through this firing line to get close, right?
This is not a perfect to scale distance that we're looking at here, but they were able to come up from the south, or sorry, at the direction the diagram is, come in from the east. Whilst the refugees are pinned to the south. Again, any of this can be modified. I just have to make assumptions when things aren't stated.
Okay, it was my intention to drop in with, or not drop in, but show up with whichever of our ground forces are coming. The tanks are obviously going to have to catch up a little bit later, along with any supplementing ground forces that aren't coming through the teleportarium. And it was my intent to show up on their blind side so that we could use the forces that we have more effectively, while leaving them in a situation where they either can fire back at us or they can fire at civilians, but not both.
That is smart.
Okay, so you're not doing both attacks simultaneously.
No, the thing is that, like I said, with the refugees, they're in kind of a time-sensitive position. We can't just leave them around to get all our pieces in place.
Okay, so you're throwing you guys and everything that you can bring down in a teleporter that will be part of the assault.
I mean, they're coming down anyway.
Hold on a second. Something is messing up. I cannot select this big green thing for some reason. Okay, whatever.
Are you on the wrong layer?
What?
Are you on the wrong layer?
Not as far as I know. You guys can see the green circle, right? Or rounded rectangle.
I
Nope.
cannot.
Nope.
Huh. Oh, I accidentally drawn the GM layer somehow. That's why I couldn't select it. I thought I had drawn your guys' layer. I've got a bunch of things on every layer, so it's hard to see what's on what.
At the moment, our layer appears completely clear.
Yeah, I cleared a bunch of stuff off of it. But okay, so we have bad Tau.
Perfect.
And then we've got refugees that they are shooting at.
This is a really terrible choice on their part. Like, what did they even think was going to happen when they started doing that?
And then somewhere up here, you have the gates of the actual city. So you guys were wanting to swoop in from here. With a menagerie of mutants, a Hodor, yourselves. And anything else of note?
Guardsmen?
You can certainly bring some of those as well.
Didn't we have some, I know at one point that I was picking from astropaths.
I know I'm picking from astropaths because I can do that. I think I can have like 2 or 3. That's why I was pondering about wildlife because I know at least one of my options is ones that are beast masters, and that would be great with the flesh horrors around here.
Oh crap, I will be right back.
You do that.
They technically had flesh horrors at the palace, didn't they? That were trained? But were they just trained by Tau, or were they trained, like, to be guards for the governor's palace? Because that would have been a great thing to be like, hey, hey governor, let us borrow these.
If we could just borrow your flesh horrors, that'd be great.
But we know they at least, like, have used flesh horrors against us, so it's probably good to at least have an astropath who might be able to do that.
Well, he said that there was people brought their own animals, right? You can just take those.
Depends on what kind of animal.
Work day.
We're not talking like pets of refugees. I don't know what sorts of animals they have. Attacking Tau with a bunch of cats would be great, though.
Skitter.
I came in at attacking Tau with a bunch of cats would be great, though.
Just, like, mention that, like, some of the refugees had brought animals, but I wasn't sure what kinds. Like, it was just, like, pets. Just attack them with cats. Because the other thought would be like, hey, governor, can we borrow any of the flesh horrors? Did you have any, like, trained ones since we had dealt with them at the mansion? Or Hodor did.
Well, their military certainly does have trained flesh horrors. Some of them, at least.
And we have astropaths who are beastmasters, so...
But that would take time to muster.
Always the time problem. But were those among the any of the refugee group? Or is it all just like cats?
It's mostly beasts of burden.
Attack them with horses.
Or along the lines of the equivalent of cows, but there are some horse equivalents.
Oh, and I'd like to issue an order to the hallucinogen servo skulls before they go through the teleporter. If
Okay.
that's not unreasonable to have done.
Okay.
What I'd like them to do is spread out perpendicular to the line of approach to the enemy from where we land, then approach and close in and hit them. So basically, like, they spread out from us, and then they advance, and then they close in from the sides.
You can
So
draw
is that too
too.
much?
You can also make horrible drawings that denote your plans. As long as you make them as horrible as possible. That's awful. That's good.
I love it.
Yes, I was thinking that did need to be added. So then your plan is for them to go around?
Not to scale.
They're arrows. How are arrows ever to scale?
Exactly.
So is this some kind of Zulu formation thing you're doing?
Some kind of what now?
Zulu formation?
I'm not sure what that would be, so.
The Zulu used a very similar combat formation.
Probably without hallucinogen grenades.
They
Zulus-
had
There
they
were
had
African tribes in like the 1800s that beat the British.
So no hallucinogen grenades.
no, they had very, very few. They had to ration them. They couldn't be part of their standard strategy. Yeah, in Zulu tradition, that would be the left horn, the right horn, and you would be the chest. And then the loins would just be hanging out around here somewhere, waiting to relieve you guys when you got too beat up.
But, then who relieves the loins?
What?
I said then who relieves the loins?
Phrasing.
Hey, the loins are plenty relieved when they can charge right in and just smash right into the enemy. But okay, overall, a reasonable combat strategy. At least as a simple formation, it was enough for guys with knives to slaughter British soldiers with guns.
With hallucinogen grenades, it should only be more entertaining. It's a good thing we have all of those environmental protection suits, though.
Actually, I noticed that technically rules is written. Complete environment sealing only gives you a bonus, not immunity to hallucinogen grenades.
That's crazy.
And actually, that's not even like a, rule oversight kind of thing, or like, oh, they didn't consider this. It explicitly says that environment sealing gives you plus 20 to the check. But I'm going to run under the assumption that we'll just use that to be like filtration systems or whatever. But does that mean that you guys are indeed going down void suited?
Well, I don't need to.
Do we have
But,
rebreathers? They're like common quality, right?
Sure. And say you have rebreathers. They would
Yeah, we're
definitely
good
be
with that.
plus 20, not immunity, though.
That's fine. Plus 20 puts me at
My sororitas is okay, right?
81.
Or at least
And
can
what was that,
wear.
Dennis?
I can wear that sort of thing with the sororitas, right? Or that's part of it.
You can, although something that's notable, when you have the sororitas helmet on, nobody can see your warp eye.
Yeah, sure. I need to mod that.
But that doesn't make them immune to it, right? They just get plus 30.
The plus 30 is to not look at it. If they physically can't look at it, then it's not doing a thing.
It's fair to go rebreather.
I mean, you could also go with a void suit that has, like, you know, a face glass thingy.
Yeah. I do have my shield.
Okay, so a horde of mutants, a Hodor, some armsmen, begin charging into the rear ranks of these crazed Tau that are firing on the refugees, who are firing back at them, but have far inferior firepower. Who wants to make a command check as the leader of this charge and assault? Who shall rise to the occasion as the battlefield commander?
Well, I can try.
I've got a 50, so I am literally half and half, not counting accoutrements.
What's guys on command?
Yeah, unfortunately, most of my good mods are to charm and intimidate.
Why would you put points in Intimidate?
I didn't put points in it.
Oh, you
My
just-
helmet gives points to intimidate, my sword gives to intimidate, the bodysuit gives to intimidate,
Hey,
but the
you got
bodysuit
me.
is the only thing that gives to command.
Hey guys, what's your command?
Oh my god, guys is dead.
No.
I know, right?
Oh my god, Gaius is undead.
You bastards!
You need me to do a command roll? Because I think I might be able to manage something.
Well, that's the question, is what is your command actually at?
74.
Yeah. With some smiling.
Yep. I'm helping.
So plus 10?
Yep.
Does anyone else help with that?
I don't think this is the sort of thing that you can assist.
Guys is like, go! Protect my hair! I mean the refugees!
Oof. Oof on the Tau's part. They got a 98 for their opposed command. Okay, so Gaius, of all people, the accountant, rallies the men and leads them in a charge against the Tau formations.
The hair is dramatically flapping in the wind.
It is doing that. That is happening. The shine of blue pulse rifle shots glints off it perfectly, adding the perfect contrast of warm and cool colors amidst the fire of the buildings around you. Just like the teal and orange of a movie poster for an action hero.
Troops are just gunning down Tau like, Senpai, Gaia Senpai, notice me!
I will never notice you, and you will love it.
That's a guardsman.
I am so amused right now.
Alright. What do you all envision yourselves doing as you charge into the rear of the Tau formation? Or what passes for a formation? It's a loose gaggle of Tau who are basically just gunning down refugees and trying to move forward.
I don't have any intention of allowing them to surrender. They are gunning down refugees. I am heading right for the middle of them with my sword, but I'd like to try and time my arrival so that I show up just about when the servo skulls do.
Okay, so the lot of you find yourselves charging first into a cloud of screams and soot and sparks. No, not sparks, cinders. Well, there's some sparks as well. Bits of errant Tau pulse rifle fire crackling by you, and the occasional autogun bullet from the refugees whizzing by you as well. You are technically charging into the refugees' fire.
Well, hopefully the Taos have got most of that for us. And they stop shooting once they see the, I don't actually know what they'll see, come to think of it.
Don't have to live like a refugee.
Don't have to live like a refugee.
That's right.
But yeah, I assume that mostly our combatants are ranged, with only a few of us heading into melee.
Well, I suppose Gaius is short-ranged, but not melee.
I'm gonna deal in the whole similar thing to Captain, but staying my 15 meters away and right before the server skulls go in, blasting with the lidless stare.
Oh, right. So, yes, as you guys charge in, first you are rampaging through a conventional battlefield, and then the cries of anger start turning to various bizarre screams. As you find yourselves charging into a cloud of hallucinogenic gas. What is Hodor's response to a giant formation of Tau that he's charging up on?
He's got a smile on his face, and he's gonna punch the one that's closest to him when he gets there.
Also, I wanted to time the lidless stare to right before the actual fog goes in.
Oh, visibility concerns.
So they can see it really well right before they go crazy.
Something to think about, certainly.
Well, the Tau begin a mixture of randomly wandering around, screaming, firing in random directions. Some of them maintain their resolve. It's quite the mixture.
Yeah, the ones who are keeping it together are the ones I am particularly going after.
Right. Well, certainly there are a number of them who, as soon as you all regain your vision, as all of your visions go black for a few seconds, and then once it has returned, there are quite a few Tau who have smoldering eye sockets who have fallen to their knees.
That happens sometimes.
I don't know what happened. It just happened. They really don't make Tau like they used to. They're the galaxy of Tau.
I think it's funnier that you've only known Tau existed for like a month, and you're like, they don't make them like they used to.
They're the galaxy S of Tau. Sometimes they just burst into flames. From their eye sockets it's very spontaneous.
Even the replacements.
But that's how we fought. Like they've been pushover. Supposed to have such good tech.
Yeah, we've been, as much as possible, we've denied them the possibility to leverage it, and also they're kind of refugees themselves, so.
Also, what was it, the Orca?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Manta?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying
Yes.
that Hodor is definitely forgetting about the Manta.
We wrecked that too.
Yeah, at the cost of like a third of our fighters.
Yeah, it's definitely no joke.
Though to be fair, it is basically a Titan-class entity.
Yeah, but from my understanding, we didn't even fight it at full strength.
That is true. You didn't do that. It was very heavily damaged. Okay, Hodor charges in, smashes the leg right out from under a crisis suit as the whole group makes their way through. A number of Tau die to infighting or raining down refugee fire just as they go mad from the hallucinogens spreading over them. Most of the crisis suits seem to be keeping their heads about them, however, and have been firing into your group as you approach. Armsmen and mutants die all around you. Tainted and pure blood mixing on the dirt streets and the underbrush. About every flavor of scream that you could imagine fills the air. As both every form of pain and horror are experienced by at least one person across the battle. The Tau attempt to rally a defense, but their words fall on deaf ears to their men, who are, if not psychotic due to the hallucinogens, are in a blind rage against the refugees or your men, all fighting as individuals rather than a unit. Oh, right, and anyone who wishes to make another command check, continuing to rally your men as you make first contact. The mutants are certainly charging as a melee horde.
Oh my.
There we go.
Holy crap, Hodor succeeded on a command check. Alright, what kind of maneuver is Hodor attempting?
I don't know what's open to me.
Well, you're in the middle of a psychotic battlefield. You've got men that you're successfully commanding. People are dying all around you, shots everywhere.
Blitz straight through them and reach the
Basically
steps
smash their center.
smash just straight into the center and cut off whoever their commanding officer is and where he's commanding from.
Oh, right. Give me an awareness check.
My second best skill.
Minus 10.
Wow, man.
That's worse, but better, but
But not a 6 degrees of failure
Yeah, I
crit
was
fail.
gonna say. At which point you would have decided that I was commanding them and power fisted me.
yeah. uh, oh man.
That is the
Clever
one
Tau,
in
very
charge.
clever.
Spin smash.
Okay, well that's what I was trying to do. I obviously hit somebody else instead.
Well, you think that you find the Tau commander, and you lead a horde of mutants straight into the heart of the Tau to take him out. Unfortunately, it looks like it was just a Tau who was a couple feet taller than one of the other ones. You're not really sure what you were thinking.
Video game logic.
Also cartoon. My tallest, my tallest, my tallest.
But he doesn't seem to have been remotely important. I mean, you killed some Tau on the way there, and also when you got there. But the battle is still being commanded. At this point, people are just blindly charging through clouds of hallucinogenic gases. smoke being kicked up, photon flashes going off everywhere. You guys are immune to the photon flashes, as are the Tau, but occasionally there's mutants or guardsmen who are being caught off guard by them.
And clearly we need to buy even more blast goggles.
I thought we had enough for that.
For
we got a lot.
literally everyone?
I remember getting a lot.
You did get a fair number. I can't remember what that number was.
We got like 100. We got like 2 giant crates of them.
I thought it was like 30 or 60.
Like, I'm pretty sure we got like a lot for knowing that we'd have to go in with like big groups.
Oh, absolutely. Just there are various different sizes of big groups.
I know it's less than the number of servo skulls.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was like around 100.
I mean, if it was 100, it was 100, but we should write that down so we're not guessing in the future.
I mean, is 100 one of the unit sizes?
Yes.
It seems plausible.
I thought it was the next one down from that, 30, which would be enough for your average strike team.
I just remember doing really well on that roll, and that meant like we got a lot of them. That was like the one good acquisitions roll I made.
And would Romeo be joining in on this, by the way?
I guess so.
Oh, right, and glorious Gaius leading the primary charge. People are shooting at Gaius.
I'll be right back. I gotta go
Okay.
for a sec. 5,
Okay.
10 minutes. Sorry.
Yes, they are.
Does Gaius have a shield?
He has a teleporty thing.
Ah, yes, he has a teleporty shield. Roll that teleporty shield.
Hooray!
Yay! Zoidberg.
Roll 2d10.
One moment, technical difficulty.
Okay. And then also give me a d3 after that. 1d3. Yeah, whoops, I agree. I agree with the whoops. Okay, so fortunately you were only teleported 10 meters further back into your own lines, not deeper into the enemies or into the refugees.
Yeah.
But so the arc of battlesuit burst cannon fire fails to gun you down as a giant rotary blast streaks through where you once were and then meets nothing but open air as your teleporter detects the incoming fire and relocates you to somewhere a little further back, letting an armsman take the full brunt of the assault to be torn apart and incinerated.
See, isn't it a nice feeling?
And Captain. Was the Captain doing melee?
Yes.
Captain's charging in with her glorious sword.
Yes, I am.
Alright, Captain. You find yourself, as you are swinging your sword into battle, another blade comes around, and you find yourself locked sword to sword.
Really?
Dun dun dun!
A drastically larger blade.
Really? And
Attack.
apparently a power blade.
Attached to a drastically larger arm.
A Tau in melee?
It'd have to be in a suit.
Well, it wouldn't have to be in a suit, it would just be a really, really bad idea. But he is in the suit.
Yeah, of course he's in the suit. They have those. They're Gundam with blades. They're pretty good too.
The fusion blades.
Yeah, not bad. Fusion blade. It's alright. 2d10 plus 8, pen 12. Unstable.
But over the external Vox systems of the battle suit, the Tau inside cries out.
You can fire it.
We should never have attempted to uplift your kind, Guevesa.
Of course, it's the commander. He had a suit.
Knowing this is all going on camera for later, I'm going to say your mistake was to try to turn humans from the Emperor's light.
Like you tried to damn them, now we're gonna damn you.
Our mistake was to give forks and knives to dogs.
Oh, this is gonna be great propaganda. We should sell this to the Inquisition later.
That's just amusing imagery. I want to see dogs playing with forks and knives.
Drop some forks and knives on the floor after you're finished eating food. You will see that.
There will be blood if you drop foodie knives on the floor.
Seriously, this should be Profit Factor, Captain. We sell, like, these propaganda videos to the Inquisition so they can use them on other things against, like, Tau, against Eldar, against anybody.
I'm curious as to what the outcome of this mission will be in for that dude. Like, what will he do? Is it just like we're doing him a favor, or we get something from him if we do it? If we do it well,
We're hoping he helps deal with the frickin' situation with, what's his face?
Glidewell.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean, if
also,
he deals
mostly
with
the, Mechanicus.
Mechanicus. If we have the Mechanicus sorted, then we can get this ship put back in ship shape. And then I am less concerned about Glidewell because at least now we're operating from a more stable position.
And that was
We've
most of
taken
the
all
damage that we
comers
made.
from. Yeah, honestly, like the rest of it, aside from the trouble with Mechanicus, is more or less a wash. I mean, he damaged our reputation a little bit, but he also took away all the criminal elements to himself, making himself look scummier and getting them off our books. Like, it's not good. It's not how I would have chosen to deal with that particular issue, but in the sort of ripping off a band-aid sense, he kind of did us a favor.
And Romeo. Is Romeo scooting around on his bike?
Why wouldn't he be?
He is prone to that bike.
It's a pretty good bike.
It
He
is a
loves
pretty
that
good bike.
If that bike ever gets shot out from under him, I think Romeo might actually cry.
He's a man. He's a man of few wants. One of those wants is to go fast.
Also, something I hadn't considered before, although because you got this from the governor's vault, we can say that it was modified so this wasn't a problem. You probably wouldn't be able to use the average Eldar vehicle just because of how they like interact with thoughts and souls and don't have conventional controls. This one would be modified, so it's not a concern.
Duly noted.
But the average Dark Eldar bike you wouldn't be able to use.
Dark Eldar do that shit too, not just normal Eldar. I thought normal Eldar are the ones that like have Wraithbone, right? Don't Dark Eldar do another thing?
Normal Eldar are certainly the ones who have Wraithbone. Dark Eldar are still Psychers as much as normal Eldar, though.
Right, I forgot that they're almost all Psychers.
Literally are.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Anything interesting happen?
Well, the captain is blade locked with the Tau commander.
So she found it, but I couldn't.
Yep, she found it by accident. He found her.
Radio me, Captain. Say, Hodor, come get me. And I'll run to you. And I'll smash him.
Hey Hodor, I found something in your size out here. Want to take a swing at it?
All right, now I'm gonna run through everything and make my way there. It's not even gonna be a command check. I'm just gonna run through stuff myself.
Just straight line.
Beeline straight there.
Make me an athletic check.
Okay. Let's just it's based off strength, right?
Yes. That's a piss poor showing for Hodor.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
But I passed.
You did. So Hodor is slowed somewhat by trying to charge through various things, walls, crowds of people. But he does it. He makes it to the commander's suit. And really quick 2 dodge rolls from, well, actually just 1 dodge roll from Romeo.
Okay.
One dodge roll, but degrees of success matter.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, right. There is a hail of assorted pulse, rail, and ion fire that streaks through the air, trying to hit the relatively obvious target, albeit difficult to hit target, of the only jet bikes zipping through the battlefield. All of them completely and utterly fail to hit their mark, however. You guys are very rapidly turning the Tau's attention, what attention you can turn that isn't turned insane by hallucinogen grenades, onto yourselves instead of the refugees.
Big damn hero, sir.
Yes, indeed. Now all we have to do is survive so that we can get statues raised to us on more planets.
We gotta go to the crappy town where I'm a hero.
Do we have a crappy town like that yet?
You're rich enough to buy one and brainwash everyone to think that's what happened.
I'm sure there's at least one crappy town on this planet. It
There's
is
a
kind of
lot
frontier.
crappy towns on this
Exactly.
planet.
Most of them are already making a statue of Gaius.
Gaius has been pretty prevalent in everything that they would have seen.
Gaius, the man they call Gaius.
I'm the face of the group. I'm pretty cool with that.
Gaius and Hodor would be the 2 major individuals that people have actually seen doing things.
What did Hodor do?
Charged the governor's palace and just generally runs around being a gigantic murder machine that nobody can possibly miss.
Okay, yeah. He did do that.
Like any battle where Hodor is a participant, there's not a single person who survives that battle who will not remember Hodor.
And we've had a lot of survivors because I punched somebody and scared the rest.
It's true. Which honestly works out perfectly well for me.
Yeah, because you
Because
like
I'm then,
captives and
well, yes, that, but I mean, you and Gaius being more or less my public representatives, in that you're a very good cop, bad cop for me. And,
And everyone knows that they're under you.
exactly.
They are a pretty good combination of good cop, bad cop. Most people probably don't even know Dennett's name, and they probably are very familiar with Romeo's jet bike and his aircraft, but have no idea who Romeo is.
True.
Some people are familiar with Thaddeus's work, but, yeah, there
Are
really
they?
isn't.
Is there anyone who has seen him or survived an encounter in which he was a
Seen
participant?
him No. There have been survivors of encounters where he was a participant where people just kind of died.
Denna's fine with anonymity. She'd be like one of those celebrities that wears like the really big sunglasses, but hers has like an extra piece over the third eye.
Well, at the very least,
Big floppy hat.
At the very least, people know we have just a talented sniper among our ranks.
I mean,
believe
that's the
I've been in
thing.
a combat that people have survived from that also told other people about me.
Well, just people dying on the field randomly is
Yeah, I
like,
mean, that's the thing. Is,
Oh, you mean like right now?
well, they probably don't know what caused it. They just know that people randomly just fucking die.
Well, it is laser fire. I
They
mean, do
just
you really
died.
know what things get? Yeah.
Considering how chaotic the situation is, I don't think someone would be like, "There's a sniper out there." They'd just be like, "Oh, dude took a stray bullet."
Yeah, that guy just got deaded.
People are getting deaded all over right now.
Yeah.
No, I think people would notice sniper
if
fire.
someone,
Maybe not in the bigger battles, but in some of the
Glidewell,
smaller
I'm
battles.
sure, could have worked it out when he was studying us after the fact.
You also have to remember that, like, he's using an energy weapon in an alien race that uses nothing but energy weapons, and also his energy weapon is invisible, and he's like so far away that you probably couldn't hear it anyway.
Well, actually, we worked out how far.
Yeah, it was audible to kind of a ridiculous distance, but I think we worked out it was because of the air expanding rather than
Where you can hear his weapon from the exit.
yeah. Although to be fair, that would definitely follow the laser's passage. You wouldn't be able to dodge it based on that.
Oh yeah, it doesn't let you dodge.
Am I the only one where people cut out? Or is it?
Nope. Definitely cut out here too.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
It's
Rest in peace.
like they're like, oh, there's a sound.
Oh, there's a sound, and then you cut out. And then you leave the call.
Then you come back.
Okay then, so calling it a night due to technical difficulties. Later, everybody.
Night.
Alright, see ya.